Hi, Dr. Warren. Welcome to your last reflection with more. I know it's been a long journey, and I know you're going to miss it, but all good things must come to an end. So, today we are managing conflict. Yay! What does that mean? Well, first of all, conflict is not necessarily bad, right? Um, it is actually like a normal process um, or normal type of thing in a team's existence. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, so yes, a team that does not have conflict kind of actually is more worrisome than a team who does have conflict. Yes. That is because if a team does not have conflict, they actually might be suffering from like an unhealthy sense of agreement where people are not really like wanting to speak up. People are kind of like just letting the leaders lead and like really not putting any input. So it could be because there's a leader who's pretty much suppressing like information, right? And they're just like saying, okay, well, this is what's gonna happen, this, and that, and then everyone just goes along with it. And then it just kind of like becomes an issue because when people try to avoid conflict, everyone becomes pretty quiet. So again, people don't want to, they want to avoid controversy, which in sense kind of makes things more worse. So really, you're not trying to manage conflict, like you're not trying to get rid of it. You're just trying to find ways to like effectively like resolve them, right? Because some issues just can't be resolved. Um, or they can't be fully solved. They could only just be like resolved, and that is again because people tend to have disagreements. People are not always going to agree on things. So really finding the root of the conflict is important, because if you kind of just like say, oh, they're arguing because of this and that, but really it's like more of a relationship issue. So if you think it's like a task problem, but it's a relationship problem, then fixing the task isn't going to fix the relationship problem at all. And so then uh, the issue just continues, like it doesn't even get solved. Um, so through conflict, people's voices are heard. There's more creative solutions that are developed, and that is just because people feel actual confident enough to, talk through their problems. Um, so the benefit of conflict is it encourages teams to explore new approaches, motivates people to understand issues better, and encourage new ideas. So again, this kind of just goes back with being able to make sure you're able to express yourselves. There's a way where like a certain way where you express yourself, um, and some people can take it wrong, but if you are able to have like a safe space for this, people are able to understand, a little bit more where you're coming from, and talk it out, and find like new ideas to whatever the conflict is. um so really, we in our team, um, we haven't had sorry, conflict per se, but issues that arise and that we bring it up, and we're like, oh, somebody didn't like do this on the paper. Can someone, format it? And we don't like say directly, oh, Brenda, can you do this? Or Brenda, you fix this. No, like we kind of just like bring it up. We're like, hey, this is a problem, and we have enough cohesion in our team to where we're able to, take responsibility, or even just want to be like that better person to, fix whatever has to be fixed. And so we end up, dealing with it. So it becomes like solved, basically. So actual conflict, conflict that is not talked through, conflict that it doesn't really benefit, people. Um, can destroy the team cohesion. It can damage social relations, and become more of a source of conflict in the future. So conflict really, is good when it's managed. Um, when it's not managed, it really just does make things worse. Relationship conflict also has a negative impact on team performance. So again, if people aren't really um, friendly, or they don't have that social relation built, um, then conflict is going to create an even bigger problem with the performance of the team, because people are like too emotional and they're focused on like doing other things, and so it really just it damages again like how the team deals with like the assignments, um, and how they deal with their tasks. So I would say that relationship conflict is more detrimental than task conflict, because task conflict, if you have a good relationship, then you guys are able to kind of like you know muddle it out and be able to fix it. But if you don't have a good relationship from the beginning, then any kind of conflict is going to be really detrimental. Like, you're not going to want to work along with someone that you despise. So really, you want to encourage like a cooperative style. Have people uh, create like those relationships, so in case anything does come up, you know there's not like a big like deeper meaning behind it. There are two dimensions of conflict. So there is the distribution, which is concerned about one's own outcomes, and integration, which is concerned about the outcomes of others. So guess what dimension I'm on? I am pretty much on the accommodation um, aspect. Basically, I am more willing to give up my position in order to have somebody else get whatever they want. So I'm more agreeable in that sense, and that's just because, again, my personality. I, I pretty much only give up when I know it's really not that big of an issue for me. Like, I'm not willing to fight it out, or like to find some middle ground, when it's like, you know what, I'll give in now. And my concept with, or my theory behind that is like, okay, if I'm more agreeable with like little things like that apparently like other people do care for, then when it comes around to where I want something, and that's something I am willing to fight for, I can have that little like piece of information, like, hey, remember when I just let you have your thing, like, now let me have mine. So yeah, it's kind of just like putting in like that social, like, I don't know, what is it called, like social currency, is that what it would be called? um so yeah, it's just me being more cooperative, but ideally, it's not the best, because it does cost like the value of my own opinion and my ideas. But really, it's like I'll be accommodating for things that don't really matter. For things that do matter, and we both want stuff, I'll I feel like I tend to be more compromising, but that doesn't really satisfy both people. So thinking about this, I should totally be more collaborative, um, where both sides find a way to satisfy everyone. So that is the best way. Um, I feel like I could do it. It's really, oh, excuse me, being cooperative and respecting each other's positions, so that ultimately, like, everyone can get what they want. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll end it here. Thank you for having me in your class. I really enjoyed it. Every single week was something cool and new and different. And what I really enjoyed is that you do know like what you're talking about, obviously. Like, you're okay. So I had groups in every single one of my classes, right? Like, group projects. And I can tell you that the best group project I had is this one in group dynamics, because you did set us up for that success. You had us begin like with like socializing with each other, and creating like basically, like, we chose our groups based on like on our spirit animals. Like, so it's not like we were like being picky or choosy. We kind of just like gravitated towards each other on like this little like fact about um ourselves. And then, you created like this page where we have a schedule of who's doing what and when how often we should be checking up. And so it really does come together, and it created such a nice cohesive cohesive group that I really enjoyed. And this class was one of my favorites. So thank you, Dr. Warren, for everything you did for us. And I'll see you later. Bye.